Hello everyone. Today we are going back to the farms in the United States to see how the process of harvesting thousands of tons of fruits and vegetables happens here. The first place we see in this video is a large vineyard in San Joaquin Valley in Northern California. Between August and November each year is the time when tens of thousands of workers flock to the vineyards in California to harvest. Most of them are immigrants from Guatemala, and the average wage for each of these workers is around $11 an hour. According to statistics at the end of 2022, the total area under viticulture in the state of California is 897,000 acres, of which up to 71% of the area is used to grow grapes for wine production. Each year, California grape farms produce about 8.4 billion pounds of grapes, accounting for 92% of the country's grape production. Billions of pounds of grapes harvested on this farm will be shipped to the winery to produce wine. And here's what's going on at a chili field in Florida. Around 215 workers are hired to this farm to harvest the chili. Currently, Florida, California, and Michigan are the states with the largest chili production in the United States. In 2022, US chili production is about 738 million pounds, of which up to 77% is produced in California and Florida. Thousands of chili peppers after harvesting will be transferred to trucks to take them to this conveyor system. The third place we will visit in this video is a persimmon farm in southern Indiana. From September to December every year is the time when the persimmon harvest takes place. Persimmon is a fruit with a hard stem, so these workers will need to use scissors to cut it instead of picking it by hand like many other fruits. According to statistics in 2022, the total area planted to persimmons in the United States is about 3,213 acres, and the yield obtained is 37.7 million pounds. 73% of persimmon production in the United States is consumed domestically, with the remainder mainly being exported to Canada and Mexico. Now we will go to a watermelon field in western Arizona to see how thousands of watermelons here are harvested. Currently, Arizona, Georgia, and Florida are the major watermelon producing states, accounting for about 29% of the total watermelon production in the United States. In 2022, in the United States, about 107,000 acres are used to grow watermelons, and the yield is more than 3.8 billion pounds. The sixth place we will visit in this video is a peach farm in the state of Georgia. Looking at these ripe peaches, would you like to come here and pick them yourself? Currently, California produces 73% of US peach production. However, in terms of taste and deliciousness, peaches grown in Georgia are appreciated by everyone. In 2022, the United States produced about 1.6 billion pounds of peaches, of which 1.1 billion pounds came from California. Next, we'll go to a kiwi farm in Yuba County in Northern California. From September to October each year, about 4,000 workers flock to kiwi farms in California to harvest. Millions of kiwi fruits after harvesting will be shipped to factories for packaging. Currently, the kiwi fruit growing area in the United States is about 4,500 acres, and the annual harvest is about 103 million pounds. These are pictures of a cherry farm in Washington. Currently, the United States is the second largest cherry producer in the world, after Turkey. In 2022, cherries harvested in the United States added up to about 587 million pounds, and they were valued at about $522 million. Here's what's going on at a tangerine farm in Alabama. Currently, Alabama and Florida are the states with the largest citrus production in the United States. At the end of the video, we'll take a look at the harvesting taking place in several US vegetable fields. How do you feel about the process of harvesting fruits and vegetables in this video? Let us know what you think in the comments section of the video. Hello my friends, today we are going to Nebraska, one of the largest agricultural states in the United States, to see how farming and livestock work here. For many years now, Nebraska has always been at the top 3 of the states with the highest agricultural revenue in the country, of about $27.7 billion per year. The top 2 positions on this list are always California and Iowa. According to statistics, by the end of 2022, in Nebraska, there are about 44,800 farms and ranches in operation. The state's agricultural land area is 45.3 million acres, accounting for 93% of the state's total area. Today, Nebraska's main agricultural products are corn, soybeans, beef, and milk. In addition, Nebraska is also famous for its hunting activities, and this has also helped stimulate the development of some animal husbandry industries. This is a pheasant farm in Franklin County, southern Nebraska. Currently, most pheasants are raised on large-scale farms in Nebraska for conservation purposes and recreational hunting. Basically, the process of raising thousands of pheasants on a farm is not much different from raising other animal like quail or poultry. The difference with pheasant farms compared to other animal farms is the upper part of the net. This prevents the pheasants from flying off the farm and escaping into the wild. According to a report by the US Fish and Wildlife Service, there are currently 215 active pheasant farms across the country, and in Nebraska there are 67 active farms. On average, each pheasant farm in Nebraska produces 117,000 adult pheasants per year. In particular, McFarland Pheasants is the largest pheasant farm in the United States, and each year this farm produces up to 1.3 million pheasants. Currently, ring-necked pheasant is the most commonly farmed and hunted pheasant in the United States, and these wild birds will be raised for 6 months before being released into the wild for the hunting season. It is estimated that the total population of pheasants in the wild and raised on US farms is no less than 50 million individuals. Most of these are distributed in states such as South Dakota, North Dakota, Kansas, and Nebraska. This is what happens at a pheasant farm when thousands of pheasants are eligible to be released into the wild. These workers capture and trap the pheasants in cages and then transport them into public lands and release them here to serve hunters. Pheasant keepers will receive profits through the provision of hunting permits, equipment, and accommodation for hunters from various places from the patrons who come here to hunt pheasants. Each year in the United States, about 11.7 million adult pheasants are released into the wild for species conservation and hunting purposes. The presence of a flock of pheasants with a number of up to the hundreds in the fields can also cause damage to local farmers' crops. We will now follow the hunters to the western lands of Nebraska to see how they hunt pheasants. The process of hunting pheasants is often assisted by hunting dogs. In order to obtain a hunting license, each hunter needs to meet requirements such as age and a certificate of completion of the course before hunting. In addition, pheasant hunters will also need to pay an annual or lifetime fee to own a hunting license. In addition to pheasant farms, Nebraska agriculture is also known for its indoor fish farms that apply modern techniques and bring very high yields. According to the Nebraska Parks and Game Commission, there are currently 219 operating fish farms in the state, and 37% of them are indoor fish farms. Each year, fish farms in Nebraska create about 3,200 permanent jobs and bring in about $330 million in revenue. When it comes to Nebraska agriculture, one area that we can't ignore is cattle ranching, because cattle farming for meat is considered a symbol of the state's agriculture. As of March this year, there are 21,372 active cattle ranches in Nebraska, and the number of cattle in the state is about 7.2 million heads. This is 3.7 times more than the population of people living here. Each year, cattle ranchers in Nebraska supply the market with about 4.9 million beef cattle. In March of this year alone, 598,000 cattle in the state was sent to the slaughterhouses. In 2022, Nebraska cattle and beef production contributed approximately $12.3 billion directly to the state's economy. In addition, the beef industry in the state also created more than 34,000 stable jobs each year. In addition to livestock, farming is also a strong area of agriculture in Nebraska. As of March this year, in Nebraska, 24.7 million acres of land was used for farming, of which about 415,000 acres of land are used for sorghum production. In recent years, sorghum has always been one of the most important crops in Nebraska. This is for the purpose of forage, cereals, and ethanol production. Currently, most of Nebraska's sorghum growing area is concentrated in the southern part of the state, where it borders Kansas and Colorado. Each year, sorghum farms in the state produce about 10.7 million bushels and generate around $216 million in revenue. What impressed you the most about Nebraska's agriculture? Let us know what you think in the comments section of the video. Goodbye and see you in the next video.